Good Game. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo.
Ooh, can you feel that, Bajo? There's a storm coming.
I can feel it, Hex, because there's a new challenger in the ring to compete with LoL and Dota. It's Heroes of the Storm.
Look at us, we're all just having a stand-up. Bajo, no! Let our blue man go. Go, go, go.
Also this week, it's been described as a political stealth thriller. It's Neonstruct.
And the team at Double Fine Productions are back with massive Chalice.
Thanks to several enchanted materials that make up our body, we've been endowed with certain powers. One of them being a way to cleanse the cadence from this world.
But first, can you name the game for this week? MOBAs, or multiplayer online battle arenas, have typically been tricky games for us to review on the show.
Yeah, it's a bit of a love it or hate it genre, and neither of us are expert MOBA players, but we do have a few in the team who helped us with this review.
Yeah, plus if anyone is going to distill the MOBA genre into something that's more palatable and universal, it's got to be Blizzard. This is Heroes of the Storm. Out of my way, dragons!
I need help in mid to get this guy, stop him from taking it.
Bottom, we've got top.
No!
Feed my children.
Let them always go first to attack the other minions, so let them be the shield.
Let Goose be the shield, roger. Oh, that core goes down so quick.
Oh, wow.
Okay, can someone come down with me to get bottom shrine?
Yeah, but we've got 4 of us now.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Go, go, go,
for
go.
it.
Who's this guy?
One must dance.
Goose, that did not work. You are dead quickly. I don't think I've ever seen someone die so quick as you with that guitar just then, Goose.
And it's all over.
We're so bad at this game.
Yeah, we really are.
Heroes of the Storm is a free-to-play MOBA that features characters from Blizzard's biggest games. There's the Zerg Broodmother from StarCraft.
Speak, Terran.
Murlocs from Warcraft. And Diablo from Diablo.
Kneel before the Lord of Terror.
Ah, Hex, it's so exciting to see all of our friends together and some of our enemies.
Yeah, and I like how it's called Heroes of the Storm, and it's got heroes from Blizzard, which is another word for storm.
Yeah, it's clever. Although I should point out that Blizzard has been quite careful in not calling this a MOBA, opting to call it a team brawler instead. It's an interesting distinction that they make, and a pretty important one. We recently spoke to Chris Sigerty from Blizzard, and he had this to say.
Well, I think we've seen a lot of games that are really sticking to a particular formula. Dota is a very powerful influence on, I think, the genre in general. We were really just trying to send a message that with Heroes of the Storm, we're doing something different here. Your shared experience and your team levels all being tied together is critical to the game that is Heroes of the Storm.
Choose a talent.
There's a lot of different types of heroes that we've included in there. Heroes like Abathur, who are never on the battlefield at all. He can appear over other heroes and help them out and assist them. And then support is really critical. It's an entire role. The whole team, whether they're participating in sort of the traditional way of damage or not, are leveling up. Their power is coming along with the team, and they're able to play their position really. It's allowed heroes to have this differentiation and this character where you can have specialist heroes that are crazy, and I think really allows us to have the largest sandbox possible.
This is how it works. A match of heroes consists of 2 teams of 5 player-controlled heroes, with different castable abilities, towers,
Attacking a fort by yourself is practically suicide.
minions,
Don't get cocky, kid.
and a base to defend or destroy.
Our goal is to destroy the enemy's core.
But they've made some pretty interesting alterations to the MOBA formula, haven't they?
Yes, they've added mounts, team rather than individual leveling, and neutral mercenary camps that fight for you once you defeat them.
Do what must be done.
These make for fast-paced games with high mobility, especially on these relatively small maps.
Yeah, plus there aren't any items, and you permanently level up heroes with each game you play.
Ready, minion?
These permanent upgrades unlock new traits or perks to give you more options as you level within a match. I really like this because it rewards you with unlocks for characters you like, so you get some payoff for your time investment in them.
Yeah, that's true, but I also feel like it has the potential to make the game a little bit unfair. There can already be a steep learning curve with these games, and if you start giving extra fancy abilities, new players might just get smashed over and over.
What? What? That's confusing.
What just happened? I don't know, it just seems like a weird choice to me.
Yeah, but Blizzard take balance really seriously, and my prediction is that in the long run, these abilities will just be different ways to fight. Customization and style choices, not just high-level super abilities.
Even so, I'm not 100% sold on the idea, especially when you have to pay for heroes. There's a handful of free playable heroes that rotates each week or so, with each player getting a different mix of heroes. I mean, this is smart because it helps force you to try new characters and also ensures there's still a mix of heroes in the match. But if you want to have them permanently available, then you have to buy them with either in-game gold or real-world cash.
And the heroes are surprisingly expensive. Most cost upwards of $10 or a big stash of in-game gold that would be very, very grindy to obtain. But there are some rather easy quests you can do to earn more gold, and you can test out any hero you want in the training map for free.
One thing I do like about Heroes of the Storm is not having to worry about last hits or counter-picking heroes. I mean, that stuff can be a big part of LoL and Dota.
Or denying creeps, that stresses me out.
Yeah, I also really like the telegraphing. Knowing exactly how far an ability casts is so good in a tense team fight. It just helps you judge when to use your spells much more effectively.
Goose, what are you doing?
And those little changes make this game much more accessible and, for me, more enjoyable.
There's also 7 different maps, which is great, each with objectives that mix up the gameplay.
Where?
Your mini map. Turn in your...
To this pirate boat?
They're all some variation of gathering drops or capturing control points on the map, and each has a theme, like pirates or zombies.
The right click if you're carrying the doubloons.
I don't have any doubloons.
What's a doubloon?
They do give you a different experience each time, and that's great because I think I'd get bored otherwise.
Yeah, the objectives are really cool, and they keep the game heavily geared towards good coordination by forcing team fights.
Yeah, all their whole
keep fighting.
team's in mid right now.
Keep fighting in the middle. I'll just see if I can get to the top myself.
With the fast pace and ever-shifting objectives, a lack of direction means certain death.
Oh no, they found me.
No. Oh, they're rolling it.
Sorry, we got mid now at least.
And every fight requires superior numbers, attacking the same target if you're going to win.
Okay.
Now we are attacking
Babu.
Babby.
Baba.
And I'm going for Dr. Jack.
Yeah, Dr. Jack. Down.
Yay!
I also like how it really rewards you for helping your teammates. In fact, you just have to, or you have no chance of success.
Ow. I have killed it. Oh!
Hey now.
They're on
Okay,
me.
Baba.
They're on me.
It's a bit of a contrast to games like Dota 2, which can be entirely make or break on the back of a well-fed carry. Yeah, I like feeling crazy powerful after leveling up in games like that, but then I guess they've changed so much about this that you can't really compare it to traditional MOBAs.
Yeah, I think if you go in expecting a Dota-esque experience, you're probably going to have a bad time. But Heroes is trying to set itself apart from those games, and I think that's a good thing.
What is happening?
You're a support. No.
But this game can still make you turn on your teammates, like any good MOBA.
Oh man, it's so easy to get mad and blame each other for not getting an objective.
Where are we going? What's happening?
Oh,
Where are we going? What are we doing?
Balloons look like.
I got 3 top up here.
And what would you like us to do about that?
Or to blame someone because you died trying to help them.
I'm sacrificing myself for you. Ow.
Oh, Goose.
I came back to see if the team could help me. There was no team left.
I kind of like that though, it's a bonding experience. It's nice to have a game that you can just jump in with a few friends and have a good time.
Everyone ready? Let's go, Sonia.
Let's do it, Sonia.
Die, Sonia, and all her friends.
And a big reason for that is the game's accessibility, but don't be fooled, this is still a very difficult game. There's a huge range of strategies to learn, and coordination is very important.
Absolutely. That said, it bugged me that there'd be times where I felt like my team was dominating and then the other side would get an objective or a team wipe at the right time and we'd just lose the match. I often felt like I won games I shouldn't have, and lost games I shouldn't have. And I know Blizzard have tried to make this one of those games where you can just turn it around at any time, but then it can also end up feeling a little unfair.
Yeah, I did think it was a bit odd that there was rarely more than a few levels difference between teams, although maybe that's because everyone's just really bad at the game right now. And I'm still having trouble splitting my focus at times. There is a lot going on. Often I'd be busy capturing a camp or objective, only to be surprised by the game ending. I didn't even know we were winning.
Why can't I use my heroic ability?
It's because the game is over.
One thing I really like about this game, though, is that with every win or loss, I was learning something. I felt like I was getting better at it.
Yeah, and as you get a better feel for each character, you learn ways of using their abilities better. Like when you're playing as Valor, maybe use Vault as a way to escape, not initiate.
No, 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 no.
I can see that the more you play, the more you're going to get out of this game.
And it's quite a beautiful game, too. I just like being in this world. It's got that Blizzard polish. This has been designed and crafted from the ground up, and it shows. And everything from the sounds to the names and the characters, it is a feast for Blizzard fans.
Oh, Valor's down.
But the thing I love most about this game, above everything else, is that I get to put Diablo on a tiny horse.
Ooh, look, I'm on a horse. I'm Diablo on a horse.
Solo.
Nothing like watching the Lord of Terror trot his way downtown. Final thoughts, Bajo?
Well, I think Heroes of the Storm is a big deal. Maybe it's not for those hardcore MOBA players, but the ones I know are pretty dedicated to their game and actually nothing else. So maybe it's just for new players to the genre or someone who just wants something a little different. I think this is a pile of fun either way. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars.
I am on the fence. I mean, for me, there just isn't a strong enough sense of progression or achievement. And in some ways, the balancing felt like it hampered you when you were doing well. But this is a game that will grow and evolve over time. And, it's classic Blizzard. Accessible, but deep at the same time. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars.
Sonya.
And then
Sonya.
Anya.
Anya.
Zagara, and now Sergeant Hammer, and
Quick, Alt F4, Alt F4!
And now here's Goose with the news.
Here's what's making headlines. Veteran developer, co-founder and creative director at Obsidian Entertainment, Chris Avallone, has left the studio to become a professor at Hogwarts. Avallone confirmed the departure was real and he will now be pursuing other projects, although he was sadly joking about the Hogwarts thing. During his time at Obsidian, he played a key role in creating many of the studio's best games, including Fallout New Vegas and more recently, Pillars of Eternity. 2 of the developers behind the smash hit mobile game Crossy Road have invested $500,000 to help start a new Australian indie studio called Pretty Great. Pretty Great is founded by several former Halfbrick employees and will focus on creating innovative and quality games for mobile platforms. As part of the deal, the Crossy Road creators will be shareholders and advisors for the new studio. And E3 is officially underway. From Bethesda's first ever conference, we saw plenty of the new Doom and Fallout 4, now with added crafting.
We just absolutely love this feature.
Microsoft had a strong lineup of games and announced backwards compatibility with 360 games, an early access program that will feature a new MMO from DayZ creator Dean Hall, and mod support for Fallout 4.
Created on the PC, transferred for free.
EA gave us Mirror's Edge Catalyst and the much anticipated Star Wars Battlefront, plus a glimpse of the new Mass Effect. From Ubisoft, South Park The Fractured Butthole,
we get into your backstory of why your butthole is so amazing.
And a new open-world Ghost Recon game. Sony's showcase finally re-revealed The Last Guardian, wowed us with Media Molecule's new project Dreams, took us on a ride with Uncharted 4,
Got this!
and revealed time-exclusive DLC for Black Ops 3. And there's still more to come tomorrow with Square Enix's press conference and the first ever PC gaming press conference taking place, while Nintendo will also release their special E3 Nintendo Direct. And that's all for this week.
Thanks, Goose. Neonstruct de Organ de Welt, or Eyes of the World, is an indie stealth game brought to us by Minor Key Games. It may look simple, but there is more to it than meets the eye.
You are Gillian Cleary, a secret agent who is sent out on missions by her agency in a futuristic world that's in a state of extreme surveillance.
It's not the most impressive experience to start with. The world is very minimalist, as are the game's controls and mechanics. Move slowly to avoid making too much noise, stay hidden in the shadows, and perform takedowns of guards. All in the vein of something like Thief.
Your mission objectives are fairly straightforward. Things like locate classified information, plant a bug. Finding your way around the environment initially is your biggest challenge because everything looks kind of the same.
And taking down guards is not a necessity either. In fact, there's optional objectives of just pickpocketing them without being detected or alerting anyone to your presence. But I just like to get everybody out of my way so they don't cause trouble for me later on.
If you're spotted, it doesn't take much to put you out of action. So you need to hot-foot it out of there and break line of sight. Then you can keep going about your spy business.
Personally, I found this pretty slow to start with, but things did start to get strange on our second outing. You begin questioning your orders and the actions of your superiors. You want more information. And end up getting more than you bargained for.
Yes, all of a sudden the game takes a turn. It seems you know too much and the agency turns against you. Now you're on the run, an agent gone rogue, and things get more exciting.
Yeah, I felt bad about judging this book by its cover badge. It's actually pretty cool. You get a few interesting gadgets to play with, like devices that silence your footsteps for a time or scramble vision. Completing your objectives is one thing, but also finding your way out of a building is a whole other puzzle in itself.
And the story is genuinely compelling. Trying to uncover the secrets you got caught up in with the agency, while always staying in the shadows, and breaking in and out of restricted areas.
Which leads me to one of my favourite features of this game, Bajo, the hacking tool. Hacking minigames have taken many forms across many games that we've played. But in Neonstruct, the hacking minigame is Breakout. It's awesome.
Isn't it? I actually look forward to those little hacking moments because of that. And it all ties in with the sort of 80s neon feel of the game. I quite liked the world design. They've done a lot with essentially very little graphically.
There are thoughtful touches here and there. Even a ramen noodle store where you order from a vending machine, just like in Japan.
And it pays to explore and talk to people too. It'll land you with little clues and extra bits of info, gadgets or cash for upgrades. Further into the game, you'll start to get your hands on more advanced gadgets as the levels get tougher. But as always, staying hidden is key, and how much you want to challenge yourself is really up to you.
Yeah, there is a generous range of difficulty options and multiple optional objectives to test yourself with. And something we're seeing more and more now in video games is the addition of a tourist mode if you just want to experience the story and don't want to be bothered by guards at all. Oh, and another thing we have to mention is the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's a soundtrack that's definitely worth checking out in its own right. It was made especially for the game by the electronic band The Home Conversion. And it plays an integral part in setting the scene and transporting you into this neon punk future.
Well, wrapping up, I was intrigued by Neonstruct. It's not exactly a masterpiece of game design, but it is well made.
Yeah, and there's something nice about its simplicity, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded just a little bit more differentiation and clarity in the design to just help me figure out where I was and what I was looking for, though. Just a little bit more detail.
Yeah, I agree. You need patience to play this game, and perseverance to get to the good stuff. But a true stealthy spy never rushes the job. It's the story and the soundtrack that'll keep you involved in this game. It doesn't reinvent the wheel mechanics-wise, but I enjoyed my time with it. I'm giving it 2.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5 as well.
There are 8 million Easter eggs out there in the world. This is but one of them. I can see a halo, halo, halo. Hi, I didn't see you come in there. I was just using my new Donkey Kong Country themed Wiimote. You know, some people think they're smart. Some people think they have all the answers, but in reality, we're all just monkeys. Some of us less shaved than others. In Halo 3's Sierra 117 level, it's possible to do a bit of a cliffside shuffle to uncover the evidence of our evolutionary origins. This shy Neanderthal family have the face of Bungie's art director, Marcus Leto. The teddy bear is a nice touch. Well, it's clear that we can't all be super soldiers like the Master Chief. Some of us have got to be the ones others climb over the top of to get to the banana. And I think there's something in that for all of us.
Thanks, Dave. Double Fine Productions, who recently brought us Broken Age, are a developer of delightful games. Their latest crowdfunded project is called Massive Chalice, and as the name suggests, there really is a massive chalice.
That muck you see surrounding us is the Cadence. It's what created the pawns, corrupted our lands, and is slowly tightening on us like a noose. All of the heroes you just commanded in battle will be long gone when we're finally ready.
With all that time still ahead, we need you to protect us. You take your hits well.
Keep it up.
Massive Chalice is a turn-based strategy game that's set over a very long war. You are a god of sorts and guided by two voices that speak from a giant chalice.
Basically, we can devote some of our power to help the war effort and the nation.
They inform you that creatures known as Cadence are encroaching on the kingdom, and it's up to you to guide the development of its people and their civilization, as well as their battles.
And this really is a long war, hundreds and hundreds of years until the Chalice is powerful enough to cleanse the land, and that equates to well over 10 hours of actual gameplay. We'll get to the combat in a bit, but first let's talk about the timeline and ancestry mechanics of the game. You can't name your characters, but they actually don't live long enough for that to be an issue. Characters you level up and used to fight will just simply die of old age.
Sound the horns of passing.
Oh, I was so upset the first time that happened, Bajo.
Yeah, me too. And initially they die at such a low level, it's hard to imagine you will ever unlock their entire skill tree. But you do find ways to speed that process up and get them leveling a bit quicker.
The timeline works like this. You start some research, fast forward time until an event happens, whether it's a fight, a birth, or a death. And every now and again you'll get a tricky choice consequence type decision that will directly affect your heroes and kingdom.
This might take some thought.
I'm glad I don't have your job today.
Days fly by, and once you've got your first keep, you'll need to appoint a king and queen and hope they are fertile enough to produce offspring. These offspring are your future heroes.
There is a lot to get your head around and keep your eye on, but this kind of busy work is strangely compelling.
Yeah, I also like that you can have two leaders of the same sex who can then adopt a baby, and apparently this was added thanks to backer feedback.
These appointments to your palace and other structures also come from your pool of heroes, the guys you fight with. So it can be a real tough decision later on in the game if you start getting low on heroes, often heading into fights with less than you'd like.
Be on your guard. Oldest heroes are the most at risk, so it's imperative that you keep them away.
But if breeding is successful, not only will you get more heroes, but they'll also pass down traits and even heirlooms.
These sacred heirlooms are powerful monuments to their bloodlines, and will only grow in strength as they are passed down the line.
These help in battle and gain power the more they're passed down the line.
It's quite a deep ancestry system, isn't it?
Yeah, and it can all fall apart. The Cadence often attack multiple places at once, so you end up making tough choices about where to defend and what to let go. Especially at the end of the game, where things really get down to the wire.
All right, now you can take a breather.
I love how this game forces you to make so many decisions all the time outside of combat. Before each battle, you pick your heroes. There's 3 main classes, but they all have variations as you start recruiting and breeding new heroes. The Hunter is your scout and sniper. Naturally, they're quite weak, so stealth is your friend. I found their attacks so satisfying, Hex, especially if you upgrade to the Bone Barb Bow, which shoots through multiple enemies at once.
Yeah, although friendly fire can be a problem. The Caberjack is armed with a giant battering ram, which makes for some truly satisfying hits and knockbacks. And the Boom Striker is all about grenades. I like that along with class variations, your gear is upgraded based on researching your enemies. So suddenly you can be armed with a unique and powerful armor that activates with one hit, or underpants that stop you from getting old. Where can I get me a pair of those?
Most of your strategy out in the field is based on line of sight, avoiding enemy knockbacks, creating knockbacks, and stunning enemies where appropriate. You'll be hiding, backtracking, ambushing, and focus firing to get the best outcome.
The interface is nice and snappy, although there aren't any options to speed up combat, which is a bit of a shame. It's not that big a deal though, as enemy turns move along at a decent enough pace.
I lost myself to this game for a good couple of days, Hex. This combat is just so interesting. And even all the stuff outside of combat is fun. I enjoyed the micromanagement, and I think it's mostly because that interface is just so delightful to navigate.
Yeah, the UI is really great, and so is the music. My one major criticism with this game is that it just needs more variety in its locations, both in the look and design. I just wish there was a little bit more within the environment to interact with too, besides a few destructible objects. They all just end up feeling familiar too quickly, like the same map with a different color filter on it or something.
Yeah, I agree, but I just let that go because of that drip feed of new enemy types. They were so interesting to engage.
Seeds, arguably the lowliest of pawns, are more nuisance.
And it's because each new enemy type has a very specific attack pattern and a unique way to defeat them. When you start getting combinations of different enemy types, you always have to think of new ways to approach a fight.
Yeah, and the AI doesn't muck about either. It's smart and brutal. Some enemies even hack XP off your heroes, lowering their level or delaying your abilities. This can kill them in just 2 hits, especially if they're already getting on in years. Then there are the teleporters. I hate the teleporters, Bajo. There is nothing worse than getting ambushed by these guys and having your heroes thrown into the firing line before you're ready. There is always more strategy to uncover in every fight.
Yeah, I lost count at the number of times I yelled at my monitor as I made a stupid mistake. No, what are you doing? All those moments where a whole bunch of nasty enemies are revealed in the fog of war suddenly and you know it's going to go badly.
I just love that you can fail this campaign, Bajo. It's so rare that 16 hours into a game you can totally lose, especially if you're playing on hardcore difficulty settings.
And you can't even load an old save file. It doesn't help you towards the end of the game. It's so bittersweet when you fail too. This was the perfect game to tie me over until the next Fire Emblem or XCOM. I'm giving it 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too, although I think I felt the grind of it a little bit more than you, Bajo, so I'm giving it 3.5.
Nothing is forever.
Call anyone in.
And those are just some of the advantages of having 2 phones.
I don't see a situation where that would be relevant.
I want 1 phone.
Hey, Bajo, whatever happened to that creepy doll that was following you?
Oh, I lifted the curse.
How'd you do that?
Well, it was easy. I just had to get the doll its own TV show.
What? What?
In fact, it's coming on right now.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Creepy Doll Show. Let's get started.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the new Spicks and Spanks. Yeah, so it's kind of like The Bachelorette meets Chef's Table. Yeah, it's a bit like Four Corners, except there's a bunch of dolls.
Making my way downtown.
It's a bit like Mr. Squiggle for adults. Good for a Wednesday night, I think.
Hey, Peanuts. Did you name the game for this week? No. Don't know if people actually remember who you are.
It was Red Alarm from 1995. Set after a huge 70-year war, an artificially intelligent defense system has become sentient, never a good turn of events, and has decided to clean out humanity. Now you must destroy its mainframe using your tech wing. And it's unnamed the game for this week because it was released on the Virtual Boy, one of a few consoles previewed at the very first E3.
Speaking of E3, it is my turn to pack my passport and head off to the biggest gaming event of the year. Oh yeah, I'm going on a plane to LA to play some games. It's me, it's my turn. So excited, gonna go. Sing it with me.
Fat rhymes.
This year, we're making a huge 1-hour special, plus I'll also be sending back some daily updates, which you'll be able to see on Good Game Pocket over on iView and YouTube. Our E3 special will air on June 30th.
Hex, normally I'd be jealous and itching to go to E3, but not this time, because next week on the show, it's Batman Arkham Knight. I'll be washing my tires.
That's a big game, Bajo. So which of our minions did you pick to review it with while I'm away?
Well, that was a very important decision, Hex, so we had a long and deep discussion about it. All right, guys, best Batman impression, go.
I'm Batman? Yeah, I keep bats.
I'm Batman.
Yes.
I'd like to redo mine.
No.
So obviously it was Nick Boy, who'll be joining me next week while you're in LA.
Well, until then, and until I'm back, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
What about me? How would I do?
I'm Batman.
Not gruff enough.
I'm Batman.
More gruff. That sounds a bit pantomimey. Go gruffer.
I'm Batman?
Perfect.